This week, we've been sitting down with the candidates one-on-one.
Tonight, frontrunner Christy talks to Tamera about the challenges of being a single mother in politics, and she defends herself from her critics' most common complaint.
How do you shake the reputation that you're an opportunist, that you're only interested in the top job?
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of other jobs. I spent 5 years in opposition, fighting the NDP. And then I spent 4 years in government trying to clean up after those guys. I spent some time in the private sector. I mean, I haven't been on a track where I've spent it every day thinking, gosh, how can I be premier one day? In fact, if Gordon Campbell hadn't have resigned, I would have been quite happy to stay in broadcasting for many, many more years.
Mm-hmm. If you don't win, will you go back to radio?
I don't know what I'll do, Tamera. That's a really tough question because I'm the only candidate in this race who isn't getting paid every 2 weeks by taxpayers in order to be a leadership candidate. I mean, I'm living off my savings while I'm doing this, and I'm the only candidate who, on the 27th, if I lose, will still not be getting a check from taxpayers every 2 weeks. So I don't know. I mean, I have to think about how I'm going to put food on the table for Hamish.
Well, your job in radio is waiting for you, right?
If I want to go back to it, absolutely.
If you win, will you call an election?
Yes, before we get to the fixed election date in 2013.
When?
I don't know the answer to that yet. And you can't call an election before the NDP even have their leader in place. That's not fair play.
We've been campaigning on a families first agenda, and nowhere in there is there anything specific about child poverty. We've had the worst child poverty rate in Canada for 10 years, and there's no reduction plan there on poverty. Why not? Well,
there's a few things. One of the things that we're talking about is matching the federal income tax benefit, for working tax benefit. So it's for people who are the working poor to give them a leg up. And it just adds straight to their bottom line. Part of it is intended to make it a better deal to work than to be on social assistance.
It's hard to balance being a working parent, no matter what your job is, but premier is a different ball game. I mean, how do you see doing that?
Well, I was Deputy Premier, Minister of Education. I was Vice Chair of Treasury Board. I had all those 3 roles when Hamish was just an infant. And any mom knows that when your child is an infant, they're consuming more of your time than in any other time in their lives. I share custody of my son, too. So it's not as though I have him with me 24/7 as much as I would love to, right? But so it's not as onerous as it was when he was little. I'm not underestimating the fact that it's going to be hard, though. I know that it is. And Hamish knows it's going to be hard.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
It's great to see you.